Welcome to the video. I'm in Sora.com today using OpenAI's new image generation model, and I'm just in Sora. I've used it in ChatGPT as well, but I like to sort of mix between the two, just keep things interesting. So as you can see, this is the first image I generated as part of this session, and I'm going to move my mouse down there so you can actually see the full prompt, as it were, what I typed in. Now, it's not quite met my initial expectation, but it's still a great image, but it's not quite what I had in my head. But you'll see, because in a few iterations of the prompt and a few remixes, I do get there. And just to show you my kind of thought process. So I've done two variants of each on these. So the next one will be part of the same generation. And at this point, you've obviously seen the thumbnail and you're thinking, this is nothing like what the final image looked like. And you're right, it takes an unexpected turn. So I'll go through that shortly. So that's the second version of the original generation. I'm not sure which one I prefer out of these, but I just knew that looking at this, compared to what my vision was for this image, it looks too realistic. Now, it's a bit of a silly thing to say because I've put in as part of the prompt very realistic, but I underestimated the detail it would add in here, to be honest. Very realistic. It's got lots of little marks and dents and scratches and sort of dirt and tarnish all over the place. Which is just distracting from the overall look, and it's not quite what I had in mind. So I wanted something that was a bit smoother, a bit more sort of stylized. So the next prompt, again, took an interesting turn. I don't dislike it. I actually think it's pretty cool, but it's not what I wanted. So for this, I remixed that image, the previous image, and just changed it to more stylized, or asked for it to be more stylized and dramatic, as in for a high-end ad campaign photography. So previous, and that, let me just show you the other variant of that, which I actually really like how the gold looks, like a whirlpool almost. But for previous images and using other AI gen models in the past, using terms like ad campaign or high-end photography can just help to push it into a direction of being more stylized, which it has, but it's just taken it too low-key for my liking. But I definitely like these in their own right, and that's something I'd probably save and just, save to my desktop, and just for the sake of it anyway, because I really liked it. So I thought, no, what do I actually want here? I want something that's smoother, that has more of a sort of just a more pleasing to the eye aesthetic. So I thought, go down the 3D render kind of route then. So I changed the prompt here, did another remix, but a remix based off the original, not on the previous one. And I was put here, I've make like Octane render, because that's just, I've used Octane render Cinema 4D in the past. The skull is smoother and the liquid gold is thicker and drips off the skull in a more aesthetic way. So this is getting there now. And this was a key point as well. The bottom of the skull is floating above the surface slightly. So I did want it to come in out of the liquid a bit more. So I thought, what about if it's risen completely above the liquid? But this has obviously gone, well, I say obviously, for my taste, it's gone way too simple and smooth now. So it's gone too far the other way. You don't need to put terms like Octane render. That's just something I did out of habit. You could probably get exactly the same result by just putting 3D render or, CGI or something like that. So the second variant of this generation I actually preferred, because it's got more contrast, it's got more depth. And this is getting closer to what I had in my mind at this point. So I'm kind of happy with how this is going. But now I thought it's not dynamic enough. I wanted it to almost like it was a screaming skull kind of coming out of the liquid. So I asked for it to be, I remixed it and asked it to be rotated here. You can see rotate the skull 45 degrees clockwise. So it was kind of looking up and to the left. Open the jaw and add an element of more realism to it without losing the smooth CGI aesthetic. So I was hoping it would split the difference basically between the earlier generations and that last couple that I showed you, and have parts of the skull that are uncovered by the gold, which it still hasn't done. So all the skulls in gold, but at this point I've kind of come to accept that I really like that. So this is definitely now. So this is what I had in my head. Let me show you the other variant from that generation. So this is what I had in my head when it prompted when it got that. So that's what it gave me on my first iteration, which still looks like a cool image. And what I said at the start is I'm actually looking back at these now going, yeah, I actually really like these. But and they're cool and they're cool. They're not so great. But this is what I had in my head almost perfectly. And then instead of just going, right, that's it, great, I'm going to take this into Photoshop now or do something else to it, I've just thought for some reason, let's try something completely different. And I don't know what made me type this in. I just remixed it to swap out the gold paint for glossy, thick red and white striped paint. And these were the two images it got. And for some reason, I just liked these better than the gold versions. So this was just like me messing around at the very end and just coming up with a look that I actually just absolutely loved. And it just came from nowhere. It just pinged into my head. So I don't know which one you prefer. Let's call this one A. Its teeth are all white and it's got a different look. Or B, this was just the second variant, where the stripy paint carries on all down over its teeth and it's more sort of consistent. But I quite like this. Let's call this A and B. So write down in the comments which one you prefer out of these two. But it just goes to show that you can start off with one thing in mind. You can change it, and then you can just have a complete curveball near the end and end up with something completely different that you really love. And this is what I really, really like about creating images this way through like the remixing and the iterative prompting that it allows you to do in ChatGPT and now Sora. So thanks a lot for watching this, and I'll join you again soon for another one.